And don't forget to order your copy of Football Game Plan's latest book, Stiff Arming Football Myths, an excellent book that you can find on our website at footballgameplan.com/books, available in both PDF as well as paperback form. For the Bucs in this matchup, they have to make this a boring game. What I mean by that is that they have to slow the pace down, dictate the tempo, and run the football. The Falcons are struggling to stop the run, and we know the Bucs can lean on any defensive line. Right now, their offensive line, especially on the inside, is playing some excellent football, so they have to make this a boring game if they want to be successful versus Atlanta. And don't be afraid to send extra at Matt Ryan. Try to force quick decisions so you can rally up and make a play. And I believe the Bucs will have to generate pressure outside of their front four because of the injury concerns that they have along that defensive line, and also to help out that secondary that's pretty thin right now because of depth purposes. And speaking of depth, they have to have those guys perform like starters. You can't think of yourself as a backup. Think of yourself as a starter in waiting, and this is your big opportunity to showcase why you should be on the field more often than not. And for the Falcons in this ball game, you want to make this game a track meet. I love the Falcons personnel when they go 3 and sometimes 4 in empty sets. They have the personnel to expand that defense and give the Bucs problems on the back end. And first down defense is going to be critical. They have to win on first down defensively. They have to stop the run. They have to do a better job in order to put the Bucs in passing situations, which I think plays into the hands of the Atlanta Falcons. And they have to try to isolate Mark Barron, the strong safety, in coverage. Find those optimal matchups with personnel groupings, formations. That way you can get him in those one-on-one situations, and I think that's a win for Atlanta. Now, here are some in-game adjustments you want to watch out for when the Bucs are on the football field. Number one, you look at their defensive sub packages, what they do to match up versus Atlanta's spread sets, whether it be the 3 or 4 wide receiver sets. Do they go with more of a NASCAR package on their defensive line with 4 defensive ends, taking defensive tackles off the field? Or do they go with more guys in the secondary, take a linebacker off? I think their sub packages defensively will be key in this ball game. And I would also look for whether or not they go with more cluster sets or ace sets on offense. I think they have to pass the football a lot better in order to have success moving forward. And those cluster sets are like bunch formations where they try to generate those natural rub routes and pick routes to try to get big plays in the passing game. It also helps Josh McCown get the football out of his hands quickly. And ace sets help you balance the football field. You're equal to both sides. You can run left, you can run right. It expands that 3-4 defense, and it gives you natural running lanes for those inside zone plays. So again, keep an eye on whether or not they go more clusters or ace versus the Falcons. And how they play in the first quarter offensively will be key. Do they come out with more of an up-tempo style? Do they try to slow the pace down and shrink the ball game? Because they're going to have to get a lead. They're going to have to hold the Falcons offense on the sideline. It's all about how they go about doing it. So I think the first quarter offense will be huge for the Bucs in this game. And for the Falcons in this game, you want to keep an eye on how they help out a struggling offensive line. Do they keep a tight end involved? Do they move the offensive line left to right? Do they try to sub in different players? They have to help out a struggling offensive line to keep Matt Ryan well protected. And the amount of defensive fronts used will be key. Remember, they have to stop the run. They are 3-4 multiple defense, but will go down to 4-3 at times. I think they may even have to get creative, go to some situational bear fronts to try to help them stop the run a lot better. And what type of creativity they find in the running game will also be key. They have to find ways to jumpstart their offense with the running game. Right now, they're not running effectively, and that's what's really derailing this football team from taking that next step forward. The X factor for the Bucs in this ball game is those reserve guys that have to step up now in starting roles and play well. You talk about Daquan Bowers, William Golson. Those guys defensively have to bring their A game to slow down this Falcons offensive attack. And for Atlanta in this ball game, I look at their third down offense being key. They have to be able to sustain drives, stay on the field, and put points on the board. Right now, that's not happening with consistency. So I look at offensive coordinator Dirk Cutter and what he can do creatively on offense to make sure the Falcons are not wasting possessions offensively and put their defense back on the field in a tough situation. I like the Falcons in this ball game, and although the Bucs are thin defensively, they play good, sound, fundamental defense, and I don't think the defense is the problem in Tampa Bay. I don't trust their offense to consistently put up points. We know Atlanta can put up points with their passing game. I think that's going to be the reason why they win this ball game. Bucs defense will come to play, but the Falcons will be just too much offensively for them to slow down, so I like Atlanta to win this one at home.
What's up, fantasy football fans? I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. For all of your starts, sits, fantasy football notes, news, and tidbits, tune into our podcast, Football Game Plan Starting Lineup, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on our Football Game Plan Radio Network, which is located at blogtalkradio.com/footballgameplan.
And don't forget to check out Football Game Plan's NFL Wraparound live every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time at blogtalkradio.com/footballgameplan, where we give you all of our late-minute and last-minute notes, news, and tidbits and thoughts on each and every game on the NFL schedule. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Falcon fan forums and Bucs fan forums for always showing Football Game Plan support.